To the next level.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Parra, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. And today we are sitting down with one of our amazing contributing writers. You know, there's a lot going on right now, just in the world, in general. With the holidays coming up, we've gone through our time change, all that stuff. So today we're gonna dig into a little bit of self-love and how we can really get into true alignment by tapping into that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in our amazing contributing writer. What's going on, Coach Amy?
Hello, Tiffany. Thank you for all the listeners, and thank you for this, Tiffany, to share what I have to share with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach Amy, and thank you so much for being a part of the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics family. We absolutely love you, absolutely love your content. Everyone, if you have not subscribed to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, you definitely want to subscribe so you can see some of Amy's amazing content as well as some amazing content from some of our other contributing writers that are on the team. So definitely subscribe. Go to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics mag2021.com and you can get your subscription there. So let's dig in, Coach Amy. Let's talk about self-love. So Coach Amy is a mindset and transition coach. So she really helps you to kind of, get that mind right when you are over here, you're feeling that self-doubt, you're feeling just low. Coach Amy can really help you. So Coach Amy, what does self-love mean to you? And how does it align with, spiritual growth?
Okay, first of all, I just want to clear something up. So self-love can be misconstrued as self-absorbed. Self-love is more self-awareness. That would be my interpretation. So that's more you love yourself so much that you're aware and you aim to be aware of being more self-aware of what's going on within yourself. And it's not about the material things of the external. So self-absorbed is more external, whereas self-love is more internal.
Yes.
And so how does it align with spirituality? So recognizing and practicing compassion and fostering connection can create that bridge between self-love and your spiritual growth. This is what I found in my own personal experience. So recognizing your inherent worth. So sometimes we feel worthless and we feel we're not good enough. And we need to recognize that we are unique and we're good enough as we are. Obviously, there's always room for improvement and we should always be striving to improve because that's all part of life. But I think as children, because children are vulnerable, and even if you've had a wonderful childhood, naturally children are wonderful because we preserve safety naturally. Children preserve that safety, so they build strengths to preserve them. So when people say no to them and they want a yes, they preserve that safety. So and we continue, because it's a habit, we continue to live in that self-preservation, which doesn't serve us as adults.
Right. Right. Wow.
So a lot of times we feel we're not good enough because somebody has said no to us, and we take it as a rejection, which it is not. It's just
Yeah.
that it's no for them because maybe it doesn't serve them and nothing to do with you.
Right.
Cultivating compassion for yourself. So when you're not hitting the targets that you feel that you should be hitting, like some people said, don't shoot on yourself,
Right.
because we put these standards and think we have to meet them. No, it's all an opportunity for learning, an opportunity for growth. So you go to a milestone, you don't hit that milestone, you learn from that, from those mistakes. So they're all opportunities for growth. So be compassionate with yourself and give yourself some slack. Um, Connect with your inner self. That's so important. These days we're also stressed out, trying to meet targets or rushing around because we feel there's not enough time in the day, and
Right.
we fail to connect with ourselves. Um, Finding 5 minutes, at least 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes only will be good, just
Yeah.
to spend time on your own. Especially as a mom, young mom, I've gone past that stage, but you wake up and you really start doing things straight away. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wake up 5 minutes earlier just to be able to spend time on your own, or in the evening, or any time in the day, just take time out. And it is difficult because you kind of think FOMO, fear of missing out, or missing out on something. You have to get back in there, but just pull yourself up there. Just take time
Right. Yeah.
to go. And
You deserve that. You deserve that time, just to be able to breathe a little bit. Because I think we get caught up in, I always say that hamster wheel of life, right? And we're not even paying attention to ourselves. As you said, it's like we're taking care of everything else around us. And we need to take care of ourselves first. We need to have that, that self-love to know that that we do really deserve, just to take a moment. So
yes, and Tiffany, you just said take care of yourself first. And so people might interpret that as being selfish. But
right,
it's like when you're on the plane, what does it say? Put
put
the
it all
mask on
first,
yourself first. Because if
right,
you're suffocating in life and um, you're not grounded well enough, you're not very useful to anybody. You might be useful for a time, but after a while, if you're not grounded, that will catch up with you and you'll crash. It's not selfish taking time out. You can take time out when there's nobody around, maybe
hmm,
young children. You find your space to take time out.
yeah,
But it's important to take time out for yourself, to get somebody, if you can, to, like yesterday, where I usually have a massage every 6 weeks. Somebody's told me I should be having one more
and
often, but well, uh, but yeah, it's nice to go for a manicure, go for a pedicure. Or it doesn't have to be spending money. You can just go for a walk, 5 10 minutes, and that helps you connect with nature too. So that's very important.
oh, and that's my favorite, connecting with nature. So,
Yeah.
so Amy, so how does really embracing that self-love impact our ability to connect to that higher power, whatever that is, for that source, or even that deeper purpose in life, what how does that all kind of correlate?
I think a lot of times we're in competition either with ourselves or with
Mhm.
others. And like I think there's a saying that competition is the something of death. It kills joy, basically. Competition kills your joy. So accept yourself as you are. Stop. We tend to be saying we're not good enough. You're not good enough compared to who? Compared
Right.
to what? Why do you think you're not good enough? So embrace that self love, embrace who you are and where you're at. That's so important. Open
Yeah.
your heart to trust. Trust your intuition. As you get to know yourself more, you find that trust grows, and that's so important to get to know who you really are, not who people think you should be, or
Right.
not who you think people think you should be, what's expected of you, but who you really are. That's
Yeah.
so important. Create a space for reflection and connection. So as you're reflecting, you're able to really know who you are, and then you're also connecting with nature, um, connecting in silence, prayer, if you're religious, meditation, yoga, exercise, just connect and doing something that will connect you with who you are. That's so important. And by embracing self-love, you cultivate the trust and the openness needed to connect more deeply with the divine and of the meaning that drives your life.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like when we were children, right? And we were just out there, we had so much joy, right? And so much
Like a
acceptance
child.
of
Yeah.
ourselves, right? And I think, as we're younger, we really, as we're connecting, we get a lot of different answers that we need. And as we get older, as you said, we compare ourselves to others. That imposter syndrome is just awful sometimes because we're all different. And you know what, you and I may do a little bit of the same type of coaching, but you know what, it's not a competition, and that's what people have to understand. It really isn't. And tap into the things that, again, make you feel joy. We forgot how to be joyous, and we forgot how to be childlike. I think when you tap into being childlike, that's when you really can tap into, your spirituality and also that higher purpose as well, right?
So important, yeah.
So what role does, forgiveness, what role does forgiveness both for us, right? Because a lot of times we tend to be very hard on ourselves, and as well as others, what does that play in strengthening our connection, with our spiritual selves?
Oh, for me, I always thought that I was very good at forgiveness. And like they say, you're not doing forgiveness for the other person. It's not to say the other person is right, or it's not to say that you have to connect with the other person. Forgiveness is about you and about your growth and about your happiness. It helps you to let go. I thought I had forgiven for like almost 30 years. I found out that I hadn't completely forgiven. And one of my symptoms to understand that I hadn't forgiven is that I was triggered. So if I heard something about the other person,
Mm-hmm.
did or said or was aware, I was triggered. And for me, that was a sign that I hadn't completely forgiven. Because when you forgive, it's like water off a duck's back. So, like they might say something or something might, the conversation might come up and you're not saying negative things about the person. You're actually even saying positive things about the person, even though the person has actually harmed you in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But remember, forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you and about how you feel. So releasing those emotional burdens is so important. You can sometimes some people have to maybe write a letter. You can write a letter and let it all out. You don't have to post a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Something I learned of late was put the negative and the positive on one side of the page, put all the positive things about the person or the thing and the negative things, and then rip it up and then just shred it, burn it, and kind of think I let go. So just kind of that's kind of like the symbolic way of letting go. So there are many ways that you can use to let go, but it's all about not having an attachment to
Right.
the thing or the person. Because generally everything is great, but
Mm-hmm.
might present because people make choices that are wrong. So it doesn't mean on the spirit level that person's a bad person, but on a human level they make choices because of we don't know why people make the choices they make, which are not don't serve us or even serve them. So we don't understand what happens, outside of us. So
Right.
hanging on to it whilst they've probably forgotten that they've done that harm to you and they're living their lives and you're there stewing away. So just not be attached. So cultivate that compassion and understanding. I mean, I did an exercise once by a spiritualist, and you might know him, Deepak Chopra, and he talks about how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Just let everything go of what you have and just say, I am that person. And the immense love you then get when you realize that we are all one, but we
Yeah.
just present as different. And so that's why they say when you point one finger, you're actually pointing three at yourself.
That's so true.
When you're busy judging somebody else, you're actually judging yourself. And that's why we never feel happy. You might
Mm.
happy on a temporary level while you're doing it, but you find that overall you're not happy because even though at that moment you feel, oh yeah, I've won,
Right.
well, 5 minutes down the line, you're back to where you were before. That's because we're all one, and so having that compassion because you just don't know why somebody's turned out to be the way they have towards the
Right.
end of their life. Not that's an excuse, and it's up to them to
Yeah.
correct their behavior. But you can't correct somebody else's behavior. What you can do is to let go.
Right. Yeah. It's all in how we respond to things,
Yeah,
right? And I think that that forgiveness, as you said, like that release, right? Letting that energy go also helps you on like a physical level too, right?
yes,
Because when you hold that stuff in, it now festers all up in the body, and then you know,
ease.
start turning into other things, right? You got diseases popping up. You got,
Yeah, you create this ease. They say you create this ease because your cells just understand that you're not happy. Your
Mhm.
subconscious thinks that's what you want because it can't. It's not like your prefrontal cortex, which can reason and say, okay, yeah, it's A, it's B. No, the subconscious just takes it as it is. So, oh, I don't want that. It thinks you're saying, I want that.
Right.
So it's, I want to be happy, not I don't want to be sad. It's I want to
Mhm.
be happy.
Mhm.
So think about the language you use.
Yeah.
Think about your words. Reconnect to your inner peace. Practice of forgiveness through meditation that can help. There's a meditation where you can imagine the person that's offended you, and you can use
Mhm.
words and language to say, "I forgive you." There's also a practice which is, I think it's from New Zealand. Oh, pono pono. I don't know if you've heard
Oh,
about
yes, I have heard of that before.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
you can get it on YouTube. Oh,
Mhm.
Opono, Opono. It's
Oh,
very
oh,
magical, and if you just say it, it's like magic, and the feelings just float out of you. Um, that's that's
oh,
that's that's a great tool to use.
oh, I love that.
Cultivating
Then
love,
everybody
compassion.
get these nuggets.
Yeah, so cultivating love, compassion, and open yourself to deeper spiritual connection really helps you with forgiveness. And forgiveness, a lot of people who've healed from things like cancer have said that the biggest thing for them has been the forgiveness. And don't forget forgiveness of self. Because I
Right.
think that's a lot to do with things. We beat ourselves up a lot. We don't forgive ourselves. We say, if I had done this, but now sometimes things are meant to be. We don't understand it. You learn from that, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Or if it does happen,
Right.
you know a better way to do it. But it's gone. It's past. You can't do anything about it.
That's
You
right.
can you only have now. You don't even have the future. You only have now. So living in the now, in the present, which I've found difficult myself too,
Mhm.
in the now. But you have to remember that we're not really meant to think. Our thoughts come in.
Yeah.
We can't help what comes in. They come in. But you're not meant to be stewing on those thoughts. You just be the observer and just let it pass. And it's just practice. When you start doing it at first, it is difficult. Just do it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then you improve and you get better day by
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
It's just like
Never be
exercise,
too hard on
right?
yourself.
Just like exercising. You got to be
Yeah.
consistent. You got to just stay consistent. Once you stay consistent with, weightlifting, right? You start gaining muscle and all that good stuff. Once
Don't
you
you
start
find,
really practicing this,
don't
you're
you find me? I
good.
just started getting back into exercise. I can I can't keep up.
Just doing a little bit a day, even if it's being able to get up and stretch, right? Because maybe you haven't been in that practice, just doing a little bit a day, maybe it's
And
a
it
little,
increases, doesn't it? Yeah. You get better. Yeah,
but
it's
find
that's a
find
really good
something you love
analogy.
with
Mm.
it.
So you increase every day. Don't be too hard. As the thing is that again, celebrate the wins. So even
Yeah,
if you said I was going to do it for 5 minutes and I've only done it for 30 seconds, that's still great. So
30
your
seconds.
brain, your saboteur, so the monkey mind will come in and say, "Oh, look, you only did it for 30 seconds." You said you go, that's too bad. No, no, no. You've done it, you did it, you got up. Even if you just got out of bed in your clothes and you
Right.
did nothing, that's still something. You got
Got
out of
it.
bed and you put on your clothes, that's still something. So you
Yes.
celebrate, you give yourself a hug, you celebrate, and you know what? When you celebrate those small wins, your brain then thinks, "Oh, I'll do more."
I like that.
Automatically, the next day you'll do more. So
Right.
just baby steps. Your end goal is 5 minutes, or maybe
Yep.
on day one you just put on your clothes, for instance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
You got to just start. That's the
Yeah,
importance of it. Just start.
yeah.
Right. And once you start, celebrate all those little wins. So,
Celebrate,
absolutely.
celebrate, and
Absolutely.
celebration doesn't mean you have to go out and spend money. If you can't go out and spend money and give yourself a holiday, better. But if you can't, still better because you can just jump. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Give yourself a high five.
Right, yeah. Just something. Yes, fist bump. Just
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
So it's because the universe understands the feelings.
That's right.
So
That's
if
right.
you if you're saying, "Oh well, I'm happy," those are words. So if you say, "Yes, I'm happy," oh yes, yes, those feelings, those emotions going through you, and so
Yes.
your brain then thinks, "Oh gosh, she's happy. I'll give her more."
That's right. That's right. And a smile. A smile is
It's
magical.
smart, yeah, it's
That,
smart.
that tricks
Smart.
your
I
mind
did it.
into being happy, even if you're
Yeah.
not happy, even if you are very sad or you're anxious. If you just go into a mirror and just look at yourself and smile,
You will
and
change.
you will
You will.
change
You will
your
change.
whole.
And if you change, another thing I learned from Tony Robbins is his change of physiology. So if you just move suddenly, so like a jump or a dance, your
Yes.
physiology just changes, and immediately you kind of feel that happy hormone just starts to work. So you
That's
don't really
right.
have to do much, but sometimes you think, "Oh, I'm not doing that. I can't be bothered." But
Right.
yeah.
So we're talking about a little, some practices here. So what are some practices that you find very essential in cultivating that self-love? Because that's so important.
Okay, I have something which I just learned today. So gratitude. I have a friend who has, well, I would say everything. I mean, obviously she doesn't have everything, but she has everything financially. And there's never everything is doom and gloom. There's just no gratitude that I can pay my bills. I don't have to worry about this. I don't even have to work. There's nothing like that. And you know what? She's going into a really big depression. Gratitude is so important when you're grateful for the little things. And I learned this today, which I'm going to be doing, saying every morning as many times as I can. And it says, with gratitude, I am ready to receive whatever is in alignment with my highest purpose. So you're
Mm,
grateful for everything that you have, for the shelter that you have.
yeah,
We do live, I mean, I'm in the UK, you're in the US, and I guess most of us on here are in Western countries. We are really privileged. I mean, I have grown up in Africa, and I can tell you we are extremely privileged. I mean, we may not feel it, but we are. We
right.
have a roof, most of us. You have food to eat. The
Mhm,
people that even the one meal
right.
is
Right.
a
If not,
struggle.
or none. Or
Yeah,
none.
yeah. We
Mhm,
can go to the
mhm.
shops anytime, get into our we are there's so much to be grateful. And those people that have nothing, you will find they're so grateful for the little they have. But we
Yes.
have so much and we're kind of miserable all the time. And
Right.
we're so we have to remember when we wake up in the morning to be grateful.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the sky, even if it's raining, even if it's snowing, it's still advantageous. We've seen the next day,
Right.
whatever health we have. If we are unwell, there might be something else there.
Right.
There's always the opportunity to help us. We have medical systems that can help us to cope with whatever illnesses that we have, no matter
Yeah.
what it is. So we are really a privileged generation.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
50 years,
absolutely.
100 years ago, 200 years ago, they were really struggling. They had babies, most of them, they'd have 10 babies, they'd only have maybe one or two surviving.
Oh,
That's very rare now. So it's so, so important. Gratitude. Journaling for self-reflection is really important. Sometimes
mm,
people say, I don't have a journal to write on, but you can use your phone. You can just put it on a piece of paper, just
mm,
write down something. And when you journal about gratitude, um, the why is very important. So
yeah,
um, I woke up today, I'm healthy. Why? I'm healthy because I can do the things I want to do. I can go where I want to. I don't have to be in bed. So so my why. And those feelings, as you start to think about the why, those feelings start to come up and
yeah,
start to give
yeah.
you more. When, as they say, when you have something, the universe gives you more.
That's
And
right.
when you believe you don't have, it takes it away from you. So the more you believe that you have, the more comes your way. So it's so important. Meditation and mindfulness, being mindful every minute of living in the now, being present, being aware of what's coming into your mind, being aware, being mindful of what you listen to, being mindful of your speech, because as we
Mhm.
talk, we are actually creating spells on ourselves.
Yeah.
So when you say I am stupid, the I am seems to be very powerful. A lot of
Hmm.
people
It
have talked
is.
about it. So when you prefix anything with I am, that's very, very powerful. So you have to be careful what you say. When you say I am, make sure it's something positive coming after that. That
Yeah.
is so helpful. These little things are helpful. Grounding, going out.
So
It's
grounding.
so easy for us to just stay in front of our computer when we wake up and we're there all day, and then it gets dark, so we can't see the daylight. So
Yeah.
going out, walking, if you can, barefoot, or if you're lucky enough to have some grass or
Yeah.
some ground that's not concrete, that's so good because you're connecting with Mother Nature, you're connecting with the earth, and the earth has a connection with us, which helps us on our healing and helps talk to our inner bodies.
Yeah.
I didn't understand all these things, but I'm beginning to understand them now. How important it is to ground with the earth, because
Yeah.
the earth, and we forget because it doesn't. Well, it doesn't talk to most of us. I guess it talks in some
Right.
because we don't hear it talk, but it is changing. It is a changing thing. It's a living. The earth is a living thing which
Right.
connects. We are part of it, and we need to in Africa in the old days, you'd see before they did anything, they would always give thanks to the earth. This was so even now, I'm sure if I went back, part of the
Hmm.
culture is before you give anything, any thanks to anything, you would always give thanks to the land, your land. That was
Yeah.
always important to respect your land. And
Yeah.
I think we forget that now, and that's probably why we throw things around and we just misuse things. We forget how
Mhm.
important the land is, and we're giving a lot. We're not respecting the land as much as it. So grounding, respecting the land is so important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love grounding. I love, being in the nature, trees. I'm a tree hugger. I say it all the time.
Oh
So
yeah, I need to start talking trees.
it is, I mean, you
I need
really
to
do
start.
feel
I need.
the
I need to
energy.
start hugging trees. I get because I grew up I grew up in Africa. I mean, I was born in the UK, but most of my early years, till I was 19, I was there, and a lot of the trees have red ants on them. So,
Oh, wow.
but maybe not a lot of the trees, but the tree that I hugged as a child that I really loved had red ants on it.
Oh,
I've got the PTSD. I don't know if you've ever been bitten by a red ant.
no. Oh, goodness. Well, look, before
Yeah,
you
it's
hug
really
the
funny.
tree, make sure no red ants. Okay.
I love trees. I think trees are just. I started learning how to draw trees, and I found that trees actually have a personality.
Yeah.
And as you start to like watch them and connect with them, you can feel inside of you. I don't know how to explain. You need to do
Yeah.
it to understand what I'm saying. I'm sure Tiffany,
Yeah.
since you hug trees, you understand.
I absolutely understand. I do. It's an amazing feeling. So, AB, within closing, what advice would you give someone who feels really disconnected from both, their spiritual self and also their sense of just, self-worth? Because there's a lot of people out there that just feel like they're just not worthy.
Okay, first of all, what I should have said at the beginning is that there's three of us.
Yeah.
There's the body, that's your physical, your shell actually, and there's your mind, and then there's your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So there's three of us, and I think because the higher self, we seem to be quite disconnected from our higher self, so our true self.
Mm-hmm.
But all three work together, and we need to remember it's not just the mind and body. Actually, when I was in a lot of pain,
Mm-hmm.
to take the volume of the pain down because it was so bad, take the volume of the pain. I had to chant, "I am not the body. I'm not the mind. I am not the body. I'm not the mind. I am not the body. I'm not." I had to say, it took it down because we are not the body. We are not the mind, even though we think we are. So understanding that you are greater than the flesh. We don't know why we're weak in some areas and we're strong in some areas. We don't know why. But those weaknesses we see as weaknesses are not actually weaknesses. They're there to help us grow to be strong because a weakness can always be turned into a strength and vice versa. So
Right.
it's not a weakness. You probably just need to concentrate more on that area
Mm-hmm.
than you do on the areas that come easy to you. That's if you want to. So you choose what you want and
Right.
don't feel bad about yourself. So have self compassion. So you might say, oh, okay, I want to lose weight. Oh, why can't I lose weight? Why can't she lose weight more easily? First of all, you're comparing. You're saying,
Yep.
why is the other person that way? And secondly, the more stress you put on yourself about doing something, the more difficult it kind of becomes because then you kind of self sabotage
Right.
yourself and you find that you're doing the thing that you really don't want to do, which again is the subconscious thinking is giving you what you want. So the self compassion is very important. If you know that you need your exercise to have a certain fitness or you shouldn't be eating certain foods to lose your weight, that's fine if you eat that food and you fall off the wagon. Initially, you will fall off the wagon a lot. And
Yeah.
as you practice, you fall off less. And each time you fall off, it's fine.
That's right. That's right.
It's fine to fall off the wagon. So practice self compassion. It's okay to be you. It's okay to feel that. Forget about what others think. And I think that's another thing. We worry about what others think about us.
Right.
So the
Right.
thing is, just do what you know is good. So do no harm to yourself, to others. Be Just do what you know is supposed to be the right thing. And you
Right.
don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to answer to anybody. Engage in small grounding exercises. Just
Mm-hmm.
things like maybe stepping out on the grass for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, Meditation for 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. There's a lot you can get on the internet now. Exercise is something that's very good that elevates you. Exercise is a good thing. It doesn't have to be muscles. I mean, I'm into the muscles.
Right.
I like the muscles. But yeah, it doesn't have to be. It could just be walking for half an hour. Something to
Mm-hmm.
find something you enjoy. That's the main
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
Um, First thing in the morning is always the best thing to do because then you've gotten it's out of the way and you can get on with everything else.
That's right.
So
Yep.
wake up maybe 5 minutes earlier than you would normally wake up. Reconnect through gratitude. Gratitude, I find, is a big thing, and I think a lot of times in the West countries, we're privileged and we forget how lucky we are to be living where we are. We really forget because we just and we need to remember that we have running water. Most of us
Yeah.
running water. A lot of people have to walk miles to get drinking water.
Wow.
Walk miles. When I say miles, I'm talking about 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. I'm not even talking about adults.
Wow.
Children have to walk miles to get
Mm.
so they can cook. We're not talking about washing. We're just talking about cooking and eating and drinking. So
Wow.
we're lucky to get that. We have electricity coming on. The people, it's getting dark. It's time for bed because there's no electricity. If the moon doesn't come out and the stars don't come out, and that's not much. That's it. You have to go to bed. I say going in with the chickens because that's what the chickens. When you got loads of chickens, as soon as that they all start talking back. So that gratitude is so important for the little things, for the big things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just even being able to breathe. The people that can't breathe on their own,
Mm-hmm.
even around us, they need machines to breathe. You know,
Right. Yeah.
even just breathing. So even if you can see, even you can see, because there are people who would wish to even have 5 minutes of sight. It's just little
Yeah.
things. There's so much to think about that you can be grateful for. So much, so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I would think those three things. Obviously, there's more, but those
Yeah.
would be my three top ones. So self-compassion, gratitude, grounding.
Yes.
Start off
Yes.
with. Yeah, that would be my three top ones. Yeah.
Great. Well, Amy, it is always, always a pleasure having you on the show. And again, I just want to thank you for being a part of the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics family, sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your brilliance. You are absolutely amazing. And everyone, I want to just thank you all for, joining us, those that were able to tap into the live. And if you tap into the replay, please let us know that you tapped in. If there's any questions that you may have, drop them in the comments. We want to know those questions that you have, or even if it was something that you got out of this that really, really just inspired you. We want to hear from you. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Avi, for joining us today.
Thank
And
you, everyone.
we see you next time, everybody. Take care.
See you next time. Bye.
Take it to the next level.